Welcome back. Last stint, then you can hit the bar, and we can all have a great time. One thing I keep forgetting to tell you is that if you go up to the gift shop today and you want to spend anything in the gift shop, you get 10% off. Yeah. So just check out the BizPaul calendar 2022. Great stocking filler. It's not really a thing. Could be a thing. Okay, not then. Fine. Right, I feel a bit weird talking about Debbie Clark because I just know her as Debbie Doodah. And so that's what I'm going to call her. It's a bit like the whole BizPaul thing, I suppose. Now, many of you know Debbie because she's local, perhaps, because of the yellow everything, which is really lovely to see the green lady, because we know our yellow lady is here. Or because her reputation extends way beyond Nottingham, actually. She's a business coach that encourages people to create the life that they want to live. And I think that now is time for us all to definitely focus on things like that, don't you think? Now, you may remember last time we were here, I was here with my good friend Felicia Jones, and she did a session on public speaking and how to use speaking as a marketing exercise. And one of the things that we announced was that we were going to give an opportunity to somebody in the room to be on stage and have a reserved slot for somebody in the room. And we had plenty of people apply, and I want to thank any of you that did apply for that. Word seemed to get out, because we had plenty of people apply that weren't in the room. And, but I have to tell you that the best applications were from the people in the room, because people sort of understood the event, so can think about the audience. And that was one of the things that meant that Debbie was successful as our chosen winner, if we want to call it that, of that little competition, because what Debbie pitched and the way that she pitched it and for what you're about to see really felt like it was suitable for you here today. So I'm really looking forward to this. What did your badge say, Debbie? How many times have you been here? Is it 4 or 5?
Oh, I don't know. 5?
I think you've got a 5.
Yeah.
You came to Derby.
Yeah.
Who else came to Derby?
Yeah, I did come to Derby.
Yeah, who else has got a 5 on their badge?
Oh, no.
Ah.
I didn't know that's what it was, the number 5.
That's the number of times. Yeah, we're trying to gamify the system. Okay. That suddenly feels, after today though, that suddenly feels like shady marketing, so let's just ignore that. Okay, she's been one of Marketed's top 30 marketers both times that we've run it. So let's get her on stage. It's Debbie Doodah.
So beware of competitions you enter, because you might win them, and then you have to come on stage and talk to people. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for the day. It's very exciting. We're like a family, the marketing family, and it's so nice to all come together and see my buddies from all around the UK and get to hang out with you guys. So yeah, I'm Debbie. Following on from Amy's great talk this morning, I feel like I need to say I have an alter ego. It's Debbie Doodah, and thanks to Janine earlier, I'm now Professor Debbie Doodah, because I'm also a lecturer, so Professor Doodah, we can go with that. And I love yellow, so I'm a mental person, and if you come to my house, everything's yellow, and it really pisses my partner off and my 13-year-old daughter. Can't we buy anything else in any other colour? So that's me. Press down, 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 down. Okay, so this is the title of my talk. Is authenticity just a wanky red herring? So, in social media, you want to stop the scroll, don't you? So, let's put the word wanky in things and everybody pays a bit of attention. So that's exciting. And I'm not going to give you the answers. This is literally 20 minutes of the inner workings, rambling, slight madness of my head. So the thought process will just roll on. And like all movies that you either love or hate, hopefully you'll be talking about it afterwards. So I don't want to flatline. I want you to hate me or love me. Let's be a bit more Marmite with life. So let's go back a little bit. we're rewinding to 2019, which is when I pitched my idea, and obviously we didn't know that coronavirus was going to happen, and it came out of the fact that in 2018 and 2019, pretty much every single talk I saw at a conference included the word authenticity. We just need to be more authentic. If we could just be more authentic with our customers, just bring authenticity. That's going to solve the world. We just need to be more authentic and love each other. And it just got a bit ridiculous, kind of a bit wanky. Is this it? Is this all we need to be as marketers? Does anybody even care? Do our customers care? Like, what does it mean to be authentic? And so I started going down this road of authenticity and kind of examining it a little bit more, because we are clever human beings and we need to be curious. And we can't just take at face value the things that people say to us, like ask questions. Is that true? What's going on? So this is the inner workings of my mind. Now, sob stories. Sorry, Victoria. Literally sobbing on social media like a mad person. So I like a bit of authenticity. I think it's all right. I think it's liberating. When I first started working in the world of business kind of 20 years ago, you couldn't really bring your whole self to work. You had to pretend to be somebody else, which is why I've been sacked 7 times, because nobody really liked me in a business setting. I was kind of a little bit rebellious and smashed things up a little bit and swore a lot, and they didn't like that. So I really like and embrace this idea of authenticity. But you're right, there's got to be a point to it. You can't just be telling our sob story. So this is me literally crying on Facebook, and I started this with a positive intent. I was like, I'm going to do this Facebook Live. I'm going to talk about how great it is that I'm still alive after 10 years of cancer, and that's amazing, and life's to be lived and all this. By the end of the live, I was kind of sobbing and thinking, will I keep going? Am I just going to pause the video? Oh, I can't even talk. It's so embarrassing. But I kept going, and the response was great. People loved it. They love a sob story, don't they? We love EastEnders and all that kind of, and car crash TV. But is it enough? Is that all that's kind of going on? So we've got this thing about authenticity, and we've got this other thing that makes me kind of want to be sick in my mouth a little bit, and that's this thing, overused thing, know, like, and trust. We just need our customers to know, like, and trust us. If they just know, like, and trust us, they'll buy us stuff. And we see people on Facebook videos telling about know, like, and trust, and maybe somebody's been in marketing for 2 weeks, and then they're just spitting out this know, like, and trust thing. So I was like, what is it with this know, like, and trust? Do we need this? Is this part of authenticity? What's going on? And obviously, this authenticity, it's about being reliable and having values and all of this kind of thing. And so it sounds cool, doesn't it? Sounds good. Like, let's be authentic. And because of social media, we have a two-way relationship with brands now, which we didn't have in the old days. I was born in the 70s. And businesses just kind of shouted at you from the telly or bus stops. You didn't shout back and go, tell me more about that, or what's happening with this. There was no conversation. It was just a one-way street. And because of social media and digital marketing, we're now starting to have conversations with brands. And because social media is filled with cats jumping away from cucumbers, what your nan did at the weekend, children's fucking people's babies, what? Baby pictures. Who hates the first day of school? Here's my picture of my kid's first day of school is wearing a uniform. Great, brilliant. Social media is alive. I have a child. It's fine. Children are all right. They're okay. But because of that, brands have had to kind of change, haven't they? It's not just a dialogue out. So brands have become more humanized. We want them to be more human. We kind of personify them. I love John Lewis. It's a woman. It's like a middle-aged woman that's kind of busty in a matronly way, and she's always there for me, and she lets me swap shit around, and she helps me find the right size bra, and we tend to personify these brands. So that authenticity fits with that. Oh, I'm going backwards. And the world is more connected. We're much more connected. Are we like 6 places away from the Queen or something? We're more connected now anyway, We can get to people faster. So I spent some time cutting and pasting pictures from the internet, social media. And then I thought, you guys know what it looks like. I don't need to put a picture of my gran up here and a cat and this kind of thing. So we all know what social media looks like, and we know that brands have to fit in there amongst all of this noise and feel like they're part of our friends because the messages come in amongst all of our friends' guff. So this is how the authenticity came along. But lots of people ask the question, I'm a business coach, how can I be authentic? What does it mean? Do I have to tell everything about myself? Like, do I have to bear all? Or I'm an introvert, how can I be authentic? It's like, well, just be yourself. Like, authenticity isn't being noisy and telling everybody your life, but we almost got this kind of existential crisis. Who am I? Like, how much of myself do I show? Like, is it okay? Isn't it okay? What does it mean to be authentic? And people started kind of questioning, am I funny enough? Am I engaging enough? If I put that post up, is enough people going to like it? Because we're all judging ourselves on likes and that stuff. And while Tim says it's easy to get 700 likes on social media, it is not. Sometimes you put up stuff and you get 12 likes and you're like, shit. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares. So it is actually a bit of a slog to get that engagement, to get people looking at your stuff. So I asked people, like, what does it mean to be authentic? Like, what does it mean to you to be authentic? And we got stuff like trust and reliability and genuineness and embracing your vulnerabilities. Yeah, we're all vulnerable human beings. We're all in therapy. This is great. We're all becoming more American. If somebody meets you in real life, having known you, they shouldn't have any surprises. And I like that. Yeah, like I'm the same person that you'll see on social media and that you might meet now. I am not Debbie in a shed, maybe a little bit high at 4 a.m. That's a different Debbie. You guys don't get to see that. Lucky you, because sometimes I can't even talk. But you get to decide how much of yourself you put out there, don't you? It's not all of you. It's not all of you. It's little bits of you. As much as you want to put out there, it's fine. So in this age of authenticity in marketing, what is it? What is it that's really going on? And do we even care? Like, do we as customers even care? Do we actually need brands to be authentic? Is it even important? That return on investment, that money, that bottom line, that profit, are brands that are inauthentic, are they still making money? And are we building a rod for our own backs as small businesses trying to be authentic when the big boys, they're kind of not really, are they? And do we just buy brands because they're authentic? So I thought, it's 2019, remember, when I put this together. Who's the most famously authentic person at that point? Well, it was Donald Trump, who has merch. If you go to donaldtrump.com, you can buy his merch. He's a retailer. He likes making money. And I remember listening to somebody on the telly, and they were like chatting about just, pre that election. And they said, well, I don't like most of the things that he says, but he's honest, isn't he? So I'm going to vote for him. I thought, that's madness. You don't agree with him, but you like his honesty, so you're going to vote for him. It kind of just blew me away that amount of authenticity could change and, change like an election. But then I started kind of digging into this a little bit more, and I thought, he's not really authentic, is he? He doesn't really give a shit about anybody other than himself, but he wears a badge of authenticity, and people believe in that authenticity, and they believe that he wants to build a wall and all these other ridiculous things that he says, but he just wants power. It's not really authentic. He's just wearing an authentic cloak, like a cloak of authenticity, which, we could all try. You can be evil and pretend to be authentic, and that's okay too. And obviously we know that people are getting their civil liberties curtailed in America at the moment with abortion. Now, if we go back in time, the Republicans, they love a bit of anti-abortion. But in the 50s, they didn't give a shit. They didn't care. You could abort all the fetuses that you wanted, and it wasn't an election thing, and nobody cared. It just wasn't an issue. And then what happened is some clever marketing people came along, and they said, there's these things called wedge issues. And if you get behind a wedge issue and you authentically pretend that you care about that wedge issue, then people that care about it can only vote for you. They cannot vote for the opposition. So they realised that some people really don't want women to have abortions. They're proper mad about it. And they happen to be the people who live in the country that have most of the voting power. So they got behind abortions. But 5 minutes before they had that marketing spiel from the agency, they didn't care. So people can wear this authenticity and make big changes. It's not really authentic. So then I was like, oh, this is interesting. So then I thought about this, bigger brands. So this is the Emmy award-winning advert from Nike about Kaepernick, before Black Lives Matter, kind of supporting him for bending the knee and, doing that. And he lost his NFL career, bless him, and I cried watching this advert. I think I was due on my period, and it does something to women, but I watched the advert and I thought, I want to make the world a better place with Nike, and it kind of made me feel a bit better about wearing my Nike trainers, even though I know that they're made by slave babies. And it was okay, because, they cared about Black Lives Matter. And then when Black Lives Matter came along, Nike were like, we're all for it. We love Black Lives Matter, we're all for it. And they got pulled up, because guess what? They don't give a shit, because their boardroom is full of white people. So if they really cared about Black Lives Matter, wouldn't they employ somebody who wasn't white? But they're kind of having this shield of authenticity. They put out all these messages. We lap them up as consumers. We might read the article in the Times, but do we really pay enough attention? Do we actually care? Does it matter if brands are authentic? Or do they just put out things that they want us to hear and we lap it up and then we feel better about the buying decisions that we have and then we buy shit? Do we care about authenticity? Here's Apple. So Bertie, hello, convinced me to get an Apple iPhone. Yes, I'm not an Apple person. No, it's really on the, So I also have an Apple iPhone now. And I know that they have, what do they have? Nets on the top of their factories because so many people kill themselves working for Apple in China. I know that. I know that they are killing people with their kind of working practices, but I still bought the iPhone because I wanted it because it was yellow and shiny and lovely. So even though they're not authentic, I still went and bought the bloody iPhone. I use it and I think, I feel really bad that maybe somebody died because of this phone, but it feels really nice. And it tells me a story about myself that I want to believe. So, do we care? Do we care? Do we care enough to stop buying Apple? Are we all going to throw our Apple iPads away and our products because we know that they're murdering people on the other side of the planet? Amazon, this is a sticky one, isn't it? Who thinks that is a flying penis? Oh my God, what is that? I know it's an arrow and it's A to Z and all this, but it's got a penis head on it, hasn't it? What's he doing? What's he doing there with his flying penis? And it's a smile, and Amazon is smiling, and they come to us and they deliver us smiles. They're like, we're Amazon, and we're da-da-da-da-da. Also, in America, such horrible employees that there was one factory in America that got the ambulance called to it so often because people kept accidentally giving birth in toilets and having heart attacks because they wouldn't give them any time off, that they just had an ambulance there all the time. The ambulance service just went, fuck it, let's just keep the ambulance here. We keep coming backwards and forwards so often, let's just make this a priority stop. But we're still buying from Amazon, and we know that they're monopolizing the world. We know that they don't look after the people that work with them, but we still buy them because it's convenient and because it's cheap. So do we actually need to know, like, and trust brands? Or is this all bullshit that we tell ourselves to make ourselves feel good? Do brands actually have to be authentic, or do they have to be convenient and cheap? Because if that's true, just make your stuff fucking convenient and cheap. Just turn up at the time when people want it and be like, hey, I've got the thing. You're like, brilliant. This is great. I feel good about buying this. And, tell them a story that they can believe and whitewash it. So Amazon, I try not to buy from them. It's hard though, isn't it? There are some business books are weird, that you can only buy on Amazon. Why can't I buy this business book anywhere else? So yeah, do we care? Do we care? Do we have to be authentic? Do you have to know, like, and trust them? Oh, we're going backwards, Apple. So yeah, do we even notice these moments of inauthenticity? I'm not here to kind of rant at you because I have an Apple iPhone. I shop in Amazon. I'm doing all this bad shit as well. I'm also a consumer. I just wonder as a business person, university lecturer, consumer, marketer, whether it actually makes a difference or whether we're kind of building a rod for our own back with all this know, like, trust stuff and authenticity. And what about Google? I can't stop using Google. It's got Google Password Manager. It's got 15 years worth of photos in the bloody thing. If I stopped using Google now, my life would be at a loss. When Google first launched, its mission statement was do no evil. It doesn't have that anymore because it's realised that it can't not do any evil. It wiped Palestine off the map, and it's pretty racist when you do searches for things like professional hair. But we still keep using Google. We don't know, like, and trust them. We know they're evil core, but we carry on using it anyway. So I wonder if do we care? I want us to care. I want to care. I want to change the world. I want it to be a better place. But I'm lazy, and I want things easily that just arrive in nice boxes. So, authenticity. What is it? The great thing about authenticity is the word arrived in the dictionary the same year I was born. So we have this authentic relationship together. It's as old as me. I am authenticity. Crying on Facebook and telling people on conferences that I used to be drug dealers and it's brilliant and everybody goes, woo, this is great. You know, authenticity is great, but what's behind it? And for me, there's something about values. So we were talking about values earlier, like that's the thing that's behind authenticity. And I don't buy from brands because they're authentic. I buy from them because the values behind that. But somehow, authenticity is sexy, isn't it? Like the love goddess of the 1940s, Rita Hayworth. Authenticity just sounds a bit more cool. It's just a bit sexier. Values, bit Doris Day. She's nice, isn't she? She's the girl next door. She's all right, but Doris Day's not as hot as Rita Hayworth. I mean, look at her. Isn't she gorgeous? But maybe it's all right to have a bit of dependable values. Maybe it's all right to be a bit Doris Day about stuff. So here's a thing for you, because values, and we've got mission statements and all of this stuff. So here's some mission statements from brands. And I'd like to know which one you think is the wankiest, and which one you think is the brand that you're like, yeah, I want to shop with them. So just have a quick read, and then let's have a quick poll. So we want the wankiest and the one where you're like, yeah, that sounds good. I want to be part of their story. Anybody want to shout out? Number 6 is terrible. We are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. It sounds like a strip club that I nearly went to in Stratford 2 nights ago. But I decided I wasn't going to go to a strip club in Stratford because I thought that would be a bit sticky. Okay, you don't like number 6. Anybody else? Anything that... Number 2 is horrible. Forward-thinking, future-focused, digital-first. Okay. Number 1. Yeah, let's read that. Could you get... You're an employee. You've just been employed, and this is what you've got to get behind. We think bigger and move faster. We start the trends and set the pace. We don't sit back and watch it happen. We make it happen. Oh, yeah, Debenhams, do you? No fucking way! Unbelievable! I wrote this before Debenhams died, and now they have died. And when I read it, I was like, Debenhams don't set the pace. Who are they kidding? They're not... What's going on there? What's going on there? So make a mission statement that makes sense. Everybody who works at Debenhams must have been like, I've been told that we're future forward, but I'm just trying to sell this saucepan. And this pair of, like, slightly boring knickers. Like, I don't understand. Like, of course it went under. They had no idea what they stood for. They just made up wanky bullshit that sounded good so that they could make shareholders feel good about themselves. Number 2 is Marks and Spencer's. I mean, forward-thinking future... I bought knickers from them the other day. It wasn't an exceptional internet process. It was all right. It was quite clunky. I wasn't like, this is an amazing knicker buying process from Marks and Spencer's. I'm going to come back here. I didn't feel like I was in the future. I was just on a website. John Lewis. See, I love a John Lewis. Be yourself always. Thanks, John. Love it. Yeah. So it's just interesting. Like, if you're going to write a mission statement, think about what it means. If you're going to get people behind it, if you're going to write your own one, even if you're, a solo entrepreneur, write something that makes sense. So I went and looked at other mission statements by other companies. So FIFA, we all know who FIFA is. They do footballs, boys kicking balls, and girls. Sorry, girls can kick boys. Girls can kick boys. No, that's not right, is it? This is not right. I'm into feminism. It's about equality. Girls shouldn't be kicking boys. Okay, so this is FIFA's values first. Transparency, accountability, justice, democracy. Oh my God, it's lofty. Lofty, isn't it? And, they want to promote positive social change around the world. If you're going to write this stuff, if businesses are going to write this stuff, all I ask is that you live by it. Live by it. What's FIFA doing now? It's building football stadiums in Qatar with modern-day slavery. They steal people's passports and they don't let them leave the country. Positive social change? Who are they kidding? What the F is going on in the world? At least be honest, FIFA. So if you run a business and you're going to write a mission statement, write something that makes sense, that you can actually get behind, that your employees can get behind, that you can get behind. Don't just fill it with fluff that sounds good. Hyatt Denim, we've mentioned this already before, the lovely Mr. Hyatt. So I was listening to him speak, and he was talking about this thing, mission statements, and about how they're kind of a bit wanky. And he said they have a mission question. Yeah, it's a mission. Let's make it a thing that we do. Let's make it an action, not just like loads of words. So for Hyatt Denim, their mission question is, how do we reduce the impact of making jeans on the environment every single day? Brilliant. So every day they come to work and they go, how can we make this process better? How can we use less water? How can we pay our staff better? How can we make that process better? How can we send things? How can we stop using plastic? Every day they're pushing the needle on how they can make jeans and reduce the environmental impact. So let's stop having mission statements that are meaningless. Let's have mission questions. Mission Impossible is about running around and doing actions, not just sitting on a sofa feeling good about yourself. This is my quest to you. Think of a mission question. How can you do something? What are you going to do? How are you going to make the world a better place? Or just make more money, whatever happens. And so when we're thinking about values, core values, exactly. They're so important. For me, they're like the fundamental thing that get me up and keep moving, and it means that I decide who I want to work with and the place that I want to be in the world and the type of world that I want. And one of my values, my number one value is just fun, which sounds stupid and frivolous, but what else? For me, it's like, what else am I on the planet for? We're all going to die. You're all going to die. Everybody dies. Nobody gets out of this alive. Have fun. And that is the guiding principle of everything I do in my life. But you get to think of values that mean something to you, and don't just make a load of wanky bullshit that sounds good. Do something that's fundamental to you. When I first started running my business, I thought, oh God, well, I can't be me, and I've got to create this stupid brand that sounds sensible, because I thought fun didn't sound good, so I couldn't say that out loud. But now I've realised, just be yourself. That's the best place to be. So for me, authenticity, it's just the wanky buzzword icing on the cake. And the values, the things that uphold your business, the things that you do every day, the difference that you make in the world, and as consumers, I want to be a better consumer. I do want to make the world a better place. Has anybody seen that film WALL-E, the kids' film, where all the fat people are just living in space because they've ruined the planet and they don't even use their legs anymore, and it's just like evil core, it's like Amazon. I don't want that for the future generations. I want to make the world a better place. And so we get to decide the future. You get to decide the future. We're all disruptors, change makers, clever people. Let's do something better with our world. So my question to you is, are you going to be Nike or FIFA? Are you going to just make up a load of rubbish that sounds good, that makes people feel good, that makes you feel good? Or can we represent a breed of business that is rooted in values and actually trying to make the world a better place? Because wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if the world was a better place? Come on, if we can all just hunker down and do that. So that's me. Thank you very much. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Thank you, Paul, for asking me here. Wonderful.